We can start with Matt Porter. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Chris, good afternoon and congrats.
Thanks.
I was curious, what did you when you got back into, the role with Ottawa and then coming here? Two questions related to that. One, what did you miss about the game that got you back in soon after your playing ended? And did you see yourself following this path that you followed, when you first got back into it? Did you see it breaking for you this way?
I think my last year playing was kind of a unique situation in terms of, I went out on a tryout to Edmonton. It didn't work out. I think I was retired 3 or 4 times that year. So the writing was on the wall that my playing career was coming to an end. So I figured, what do I want to do next? And luckily I spoke with Ottawa. They said, why don't you try doing development with us for a year, see if you like it. I came in, I did development there. At the trade deadline, they made a coaching change and asked me if I would be willing to, pivot and do a little bit of coaching. So I did that for the last 20 games of the season, and I really enjoyed it. Being around the players, helping them. I felt like you're a little bit in the fight with them every day, and you can see the progress. Going to Boston was, I loved being a Bruin as a player, and you see an organization that has success and has run so well. So when the opportunity presented itself to come back to Boston, obviously I was able to jump on it and do development. And like I said, I did enjoy doing development and helping the younger players and being down in Providence and seeing a little bit of, both sides of the game, the management side and the coaching side. And, luckily, this job presented itself and I was able to get hired.
What's the relationship like with Marsh and Bergie, those guys? Because we all know you guys have long histories and memories and can rag on each other. And how does that change, when you're a coach?
I think there's obviously that respect factor that we played together. We were fortunate enough to win together, and we've continued to stay friends over the last 10 years. Going into a coaching role with these guys still as players, I'm learning from them just as much as I hope I'm trying to teach them some things. They're obviously elite players in the league, and in any way I can help them. I'm there, as well as the rest of the group. I formed pretty good relationships with the younger players and other players in that locker room, just being around the last 2 years. And so I don't see it being much of an issue. I'm just there to help the guys day in and day out.
Great. Thanks, Chris. Best of luck.
Thanks, Matt.
We'll go to Steve Conroy.
Hey, Chris, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
And along the lines of what Matt was asking, is there something about maybe what tangible gratification you can get from coaching as opposed to development that drew you to this?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, you're kind of in the fight with the players in terms you're there day in and day out. You can see the small differences that potentially, helping younger players, grow their game. With development, yeah, there's that growth, but you're not with them day in and day out. They're, at their club team, they're in college, you're in junior, you're seeing them periodically. So you don't see the growth I found as much. Whereas, when you're there every day, you can really help the players and really break it down a little bit more.
And do you know what your responsibilities are going to be?
I'm not sure just of yet. We've had discussions. I think it'll be pretty focused on the defensive side of the puck. So we'll we'll have a discussion as a staff and figure out what's, where's the best place to put me.
Great. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
Again, just a reminder, if you want to get in the queue to ask a question, it's the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. We'll go to Jimmy Murphy.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Congratulations. Just, wondering, you came in obviously right before that cup run, and you're part of sort of that culture that has still been maintained in Boston. And I'm wondering, how does it feel now that you're going to be able to sort of keep that going and sort of pass along the experience you had of building that culture?
Well, I think, you hear about the Bruins culture, throughout the league, and, maybe when you're in it, you don't hear it as much. You kind of take it for granted, but when you go other places, the other organizations, they talk about it, and it's a thing throughout the league, how well the Bruins, treat their players and the way the players treat each other. And it's a like you said, a culture thing, that competitiveness that their top end players bring each and every day. I saw it, on when I joined the organization in development, and how hard the top end players compete and practice every day in the games, and helping those players, learn how to be a pro day in and day out. And I think Boston's extremely fortunate to have the players that they have leading, not only the young players, but the new players to come in, because I was one of those players. I came in and was fortunate enough to be part of that team that won, and to see how hard they were working, right after they won the Stanley Cup in the summer to come into camp the next season. I think it helped me, maybe carve out a few extra years in the NHL, because of the work ethic that they were able to instill in me as an older player. So to be able to come back and try to help with that on the other side, is great.
And just one follow-up with Bruce, I'm curious what you thought of him from afar, what you had heard, and now as you get to know him, how much of that are you seeing in person?
Well, actually, I was fortunate enough to play for Bruce my first pro season. I was 20. I played for him in Grand Rapids. So I've, obviously been coached by him. And watching his teams from afar, he's a excellent coach. Obviously, Hockey Canada thought so as well. His in-game adjustments, the way he plays on the offensive side of the puck as well as the defensive side. You've seen players thrive in his system, stat wise. So I'm super excited, to listen to some of the things that he has to say. I was able to watch his power play presentation for the coaches clinic, and being a defensive forward and on the penalty kill side, it was great to listen to. So I'm super excited to learn, from all the coaches. They all do a fantastic job.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Mick Collagio.
Hey, Chris, I'm thrilled to see you back in the organization. What you brought in 11 will never be forgotten by a generation of fans. How much, we all have our opinions and ideas on how the NHL has changed, how the Bruins have changed in these last several years. But, from a grinder like yourself, what do you see, and what might we not be looking at as how the game is changing and the NHL is changing? And what you're looking at as you enter this mission with the Bruins again. What are you looking at when you see the game from when you played? And
there's a whole lot more skill I find in the game than when I played. Right through the lineup, you're seeing these young players that they come in, and their ability to do things with the puck is far more than when I was playing, or individuals. So I think teaching them the skills aspects, there's in-game skills that I think everyone can get better at. I think when you're looking at the highlights, you're seeing more and more highlight reel goals, but in reality, that's not how the NHL runs. I think, board play, I think coming in and helping them with the detailed part of the game, I think is going to be something that, I focus on. Details are what continues to help teams win, keeps players in the league longer. And, that's kind of my focus. When I started, I think some of the things that I took for granted, thinking, players knew, they didn't. So that's kind of the way I approach it, is not being afraid to suggest things that you maybe have taken for granted over, the course of my hockey career that they don't know yet. And, I can help them just with a few things, stick detailing things, or, positioning things that maybe they haven't picked up along the way.
Yeah, just to follow up, if I might, does the fact that the league has changed so rapidly in the skills direction these last several years, does it sort of make you feel a little bit like, you're Wayne Cashman now coming back to talk to, a younger set of players who can't relate to the game that you played? Or is there any gap there in your mind? I mean, it seems to me like you got an incredible resource of stuff that you can share. I'm just wondering what the challenge is to reach the minds that are coming into the game now who are all trying to be Patrick Kane.
Yeah, I think that obviously when you look at all these young individuals coming in, and guys are coming into the league a lot younger, more skilled, but maybe, like I said, they haven't been taught the fundamentals of the game, because maybe they haven't played an extended period of time in pro hockey, maybe in the AHL level. They've been, from college or junior, spent a short time in the American League, and then they're right up into the NHL. So there's, although the game is going in a skill-based manner and guys are a lot more skilled than in the past, I think the detailed part, learning the game, is still, they still appreciate that. They're still, they want to be taught. They're taking all the information in. And I think the biggest thing is they want to know the why, more than just saying, okay, do it because I told you so. And, as a player, and, I understand that they want to know the why. And I have no problem giving them the why. It's just, okay, how do we continue to work and grow your game day in and day out?
Thanks.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, media, for joining us. We'll be back on this same link at 1:30 with Adam McQuaid. Talk to you guys then.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys.